Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Thursday. Happy 3 p.m. And welcome to the No Payne podcast. Today is the 38th episode, I believe, if I haven't lost track. Pretty sure I haven't lost track. 38 sounds about right. And, today, I am happy to welcome our 38th guest, Josh of Lumberjack Plumbing. There you are. Here you are in the flesh.
We're live.
Right
We're
on.
live.
You said you've been talking to Mike for quite a few months about doing this, hey?
Yeah, it's been a nutty whirlwind the last little while. So everything kind of crashing down and then building back up. It's weird. We haven't slowed down. So getting the time to jump out and emergencies, guys at school. So I'm glad to finally be here. It's good to be in the lair. So
it's a curse, but a blessing.
Yeah,
to an extent. And we're happy to have you here at last. I mean, promoting local business is the name of the game, and you certainly fall into that category. So yeah, we're happy to have you. You look exactly like you do in your logo, minus the beard.
Minus the big beard, yeah.
Was that the big beard? Was it modeled after your beard back in the day?
No, not so much. No, I've always wanted to grow a nice big beard, but I'm more of a neck mullet guy, so it's kind of one of those, better laid plans. So.
Well, I was happy to see the shirt when you walked in. I thought he's keeping it real.
Yeah,
keeping it real.
Everyone's got to have some plaid. So
made me. Seeing that makes me consider asking Mike to kind of implement a mascot of sorts.
Yeah.
But when you think of No Payne Roofing, I mean, what does a roofer look like? Face tattoos and like like a little scraggly. Who knows? But
we wear coveralls because we got a no crack your money back guarantee. So just kind of get rid of those stereotypes as much as we can.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Right on. Well, you know how to play the game.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
So plumbing, you do a variety of work outside of plumbing, right?
Yeah, so full plumbing, full HVAC, boilers, service, and duct cleaning as well too now actually. So
boilers, is that like your water heaters?
Yeah, so
your water heater?
Boilers are the name of the game. There's a lot of people who say they can do boilers,
right?
But there's a very few select people in and around the area that actually know what they're doing, can design it, can build it, can service it, and troubleshooting is huge because it's as much of it is it's a work of art, really, when you kind of look at a lot of things, and there's a good way to do it and there's a bad way to do it, and we try and cut out the bad as much as possible. So
right. Yeah, I could imagine. I mean, I know we had cold water one morning, and I took a look at it, but I had no idea what I was looking at, right? And then I found out the hard way that there's a pilot light.
Yeah.
And I realized, oh, wow, I could light it, and I did, and it started working again. But
I'd say like
it's more complicated.
95% of our emergency calls are no batteries in the thermostat, dirty filter in your furnace, no pilot light on your hot water tank.
Right.
Yeah.
Just the total, just the normal stuff people just overlook or don't really
The mechanical room's in your basement. It's hidden. It's out of the way. Like, it's a set it and forget it kind of thing. And people kind of look at that door that you open and they're like, oh, that's the scary stuff. Don't touch it. I don't want to be there. So
yeah.
We try and go through with all of our customers, and we call it more of like an estimation rather than like an educational estimate, so they can kind of get an idea of what they're getting out of the whole game. So kind of works out pretty good for us. So it's
important to educate the client when you can while you're there, right?
If they're willing to receive it, then we will give it if they're willing to receive it. So
I have some clients who, I mean, during inspections or repairs will come up onto the roof with me, which I'm always like welcoming, right? Yeah. It's like it's nice to not be alone up there by myself, but it's also nice to actually kind of help to pass down some of this information to the homeowner. I mean, nonetheless. But not everybody's into it. Most people not into it, considering up on the roof is a bad, scary place, right? Yeah. Like the mechanical or boiler room.
Yeah, I start chatting about stuff with certain customers, and they just get glossed right over it. You say boiler, you say furnace, you say hot water tank. You start talking about hydronics, about what type of gallons per minute it's going to be running, how much available hot water, and they just gloss over like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I believe you, and I will review your estimate when we're done. So
yeah, I get a lot of that too. I mean, but when I'm inspecting, which is I guess primary for me nowadays, I have more than one thing to explain to them, and there's like 5-6 things, and I have photos along with it, and it's hard. I at the end usually tell them like, yeah, I understand this is a lot at once, but it'll all be kind of cut and dry on the estimate, so you don't want to overwhelm the client just too much. But when it comes to more mechanical like this, that's probably the whole other game. Much more difficult to.
There's so many different ways to do it, and we find in our area, like Calgary and in the greater surrounding area, a lot of builders and contractors, they kind of leave the mechanical room to kind of like, it is that little space under the stairs, like leave it out of the way. But it really is like the lifeblood and the heartbeat of your house. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, everybody wants a really beautiful place, and you can do that. You got to have some give and take, but if you don't spend the money on your mechanical system up front, you're going to be spending it 2 or 3 times over the lifespan of that house rather than going through it. So
it's a good way to think about it.
We typically give everyone a good, better, best situation and like average time frames of how long product will last. So like certain boiler systems, they're 30, 40 years old, and there's certain systems out there that are only going to last you 10 or 15. So we let them know, like, hey, you can make this investment and it'll be this much, or you can spend a little bit more and you get double the lifespan. So
yeah,
you know,
yeah, it's similar to roofing products, I guess, too.
Yeah.
I mean, more so, how many storms can this temporary repair withstand before you need to do a more long-term repair?
Yeah, sir, this blue tarp has been on your roof for 2 years. We really need to get this squared away. So.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, we've seen them. We're going to start doing geotag locations. We'll just drive by an area and be like, all right, no pain, here's a referral.
Yeah, no doubt. It'd be worthwhile. It's a good way to
leave me with some door knockers on the way out. I'll make sure you get a couple more roofs.
Yeah, we'd appreciate that for sure.
Yeah.
So, where did the interest come from? I mean, getting involved in plumbing and HVAC and all that good stuff.
It's always funny when people ask that, because like growing up, everyone associated a plumber with, oh, you got to clean toilets, butt cracks,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know, like the dirty guy, this and that, like, oh, you've got no other life options, you might as well just be a plumber. My grandfather and my father, they had worked in like the electrical industry. My older brother is a master electrician as well too, so he works, does like instrumentation controls with pipelines. And I kind of wanted to get into the electrical trade. I was always interested in it because family. In the time frame, like no jobs were available. It was just one of those things. I put my name out to a bunch of different places and got hired on with plumbing, and just kind of worked out good. So it's funny. I actually went to business school at Mount Royal, and I lasted one glorious semester, and I absolutely hated going back into a sit-down school situation. It's not built for everybody.
Yeah,
and looking at the way people kind of learn differently. We had a family friend who was into plumbing and heating when I was younger, so it'd be like one summer I would work with him, and then the next summer I'd do some roofing, and the next summer I'd work with him again. I was actually in a band right out of high school that got signed to Warner Brothers and traveled around the world for about 7 years, and whenever I'd be gone for 3 months on tour, and then I'd be home for 3 months. I could never sit still, so I'd just pick up the tools and go to work and make it happen, right? So,
yeah, well, you kind of caught me off guard with that.
There you go. I got more. We got more secrets to unveil here.
Yeah, who'd you play with?
So I was in a band locally, like just a couple local bands here. Bands you'd never hear of. This band called Your Bleeding Heart. So a couple of the guys that I still like in good working relationship with. We still hang out every once in a while and see each other. From there, like playing with bands and regional bands, I ended up moving to Kelowna and playing a band called Glory Nights.
All right.
And so we went and did some regional tours, stuff down in the States, back and forth, and kind of got just about getting hooked up with a management company and getting squared away. And our singer decided he didn't want to do it anymore, and I didn't want to stop touring at the time. So I joined a band in Arizona called Greeley Estates, just a post-hardcore metal band.
Yeah, I was gonna ask genre to next thing. I'm a headbanger man through and through. So
yeah, so it was good. Like it was hilarious. Like in a whim, no E1 visa. Just I told my girlfriend at the time, I was like, hey, I'm moving to Phoenix. She's like, what? I was like, yeah, I joined another band. I'm moving to Phoenix. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, they're signed to like a subsidiary of Warner Brothers, and they're gonna do another record, and we're gonna get on Warner Brothers and this and that. So flew down, was promised to live with one of the guys in the band, and they the room wasn't available anymore, so I ended up meeting some people randomly. That should have been my first red flag. But meeting a couple buddies randomly, and I basically lived in a master ensuite closet with like an army cot and a small desk, and I wrote, I'd say about 3/4 of that record. Like I got into our first practice, and it was garbage, like the worst music I've ever heard in my entire life. So just sat with my computer and wrote some stuff, and then kind of jammed with the other guys in the band and back and forth, and we wrote this record, and it got to number 52 on the Billboard Heat Seeker charts, and so it's kind of like a cool little taste of success. And
dude,
so
yeah,
got
that's
to do
crazy.
Warped Tour a couple times, Taste of Chaos, those type
Rad.
of things. So
holy hell,
that was so long ago. So,
yeah, that's not what I expected.
Forever
really
and a
cool.
heartbeat ago. So.
No, that's cool. Yeah, they're totally similar ambitions to mine back in the day before a few other things. But yes, dear.
Couple things. We have a winner, first of all, already.
Boilers was too easy, I guess.
We talked about it too much. Listen,
Boilers
we're gonna say it. We're gonna say it a couple more times while we're here.
Plumbing. We can't use plumbing. Let's use
well, it was Elaine Coates.
All right, Elaine. All right, yeah, she was a guest here actually.
Congrats, Elaine.
She was a guest. Yeah,
and then
congrats.
we have some questions. We have 2 questions.
Yeah, guitar, right? Use a guitar player before they ask. I'm gonna guess.
No.
I'm guessing.
Would Josh
That's my
happen
guess.
to
You're a
have
guitar
time
player.
for a service call at my community hall? Everyone is so swamped lately.
Oh, absolutely.
And that is Elaine Coates, the winner. So.
Elaine, drop us a line. Office number 403-926-6994.
Flash the logo, Carly.
Also Google it, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't put up the right logo. Never mind.
This isn't the it doesn't have
The
number.
thumbnail logo
sure
had the number on it. My bad. My bad.
And then second question is, do you relocate plumbing vents through the attic? Is it typically a complicated procedure?
Well, you've been in attics, right? Every attic has its own
black PVC.
Yeah.
Unless it's a different material.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
All ABS. Yeah, it's easy to do. We can get up there. It's just dependent on what needs to be moved and why, but we can always hop up there and take a look. We just need to make sure the house is the right age. So there's no vermiculite in there and keep the safety.
Yeah.
Right? So
respirators are very important.
Yeah. Always got one in the truck. So.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, because Carly and I are in probably 5 or 6 attics a day sometimes. And
oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be ready for that kind of stuff.
We've got apprentices for that, so it works out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nice.
Need to dig a hole? I got an apprentice.
Well, cool. Fun facts, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask you more about that when we're done. When we're done here, because
how I got into it, I guess that's kind of what rolls around. It was just one of those things. Like it was my girlfriend at the time decided I didn't want to live on a bus with 12 other smelly guys anymore. So that's when I went back and I came back to Calgary and went to business school for a semester. Figured, everything on the road from when you first start touring to the end, it's all customer service. So people can enjoy your music, they can enjoy that. But if you're good to the people that are coming to the show and you engage with them, then you're going to be able to sell T-shirts. And that's the only way when we were first starting out is how you would make money to get to the next show. That would pay for our fuel, that'd pay for our food. We'd be sleeping on people's floors. So I knew that I wanted to do something that was my own business because I was already kind of doing that. I was always the tour dad anyways. Right. So kind of ran through. So I said, hey, business school would be cool. Really didn't enjoy it. Needed to pay off the student loans that I took to go to school. So I put my resume out to everybody. And our family friend who was the plumber ended up selling his company and didn't get a chance to go work with him again. So worked with a local company until I finished up my apprenticeship and just basically did evenings and weekends on the side so I could build a client base enough that I could go out on my own. I did that and then brought in a business partner and then got another van and another van and another van. And then, just this year bought out the business partner and back to me and the crew. So we got 7 trucks on the road and still that same mentality. Customer service comes first. We're a trades company that does a lot of different trades, plumbing, HVAC, boilers, service, duct cleaning, but it all comes down to customer service. You have to be good to the client. So
yeah, no doubt about it. Well, that's an inspiring story, no doubt, because you just kind of pedal to the metal kind of guy, knew what he wanted, and got a taste at what it would take to manage a business in that respect, touring and rocking, which is really cool.
It was fun. And people ask, like, do you ever miss it? I'm like, I don't ever miss it, and I don't ever regret it. But I definitely would never go back and do it again. Like, I got 3 small kids, and it's just great to be able to come home at night and hang out with them and
for sure.
see the world through their eyes right now.
So by you don't miss it, I take it that you're not touring or you're not active any longer?
Like, still play guitar every once in a while. Like,
I guessed when you say, like, you wrote most of the record in that room, I was like, well, it's a little harder to do on a bass guitar. He's probably playing guitar. I'm a guitar player as well. So.
Oh, yeah. I played guitar, played bass, did backup vocals, screaming, singing, all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
so
right on.
A little bit of pan flute, some recorder, just throw it in there. Why not, right?
I can relate to an extent. I have some history touring as well. It's much smaller scale, the local band here that I had left since, but touring from here to Vancouver and back, some maybe like 9, 10, 11, 12 date mini tours and things. And so pushing merch and managing that and fan base and things I have some experience with, and I can, I guess, see how that would be a transferable skill. Yeah.
Some of the best and some of the worst days of your life are on those
small
it
was certainly
10 to 12 day tours.
Yeah, because we had like a 16-seater Chevy Express.
Nice.
And like an 8x8 trailer and just trucking, right? Yeah. And so I know what you're saying, but it was the worst but the best days at the same time. You know?
Tour brings out the best and worst in people, and so it really helped associate with how you like communicate with people and what kind of leeway you can and you want to give them. So it was super helpful when you start having staff, because, you know, when you own the business and you're managing everything, some days you're a glorified babysitter, and other days you're like, wow, everyone's kind of just rolling in motion. We got this. Like, this is good. So
yeah, for sure.
And sometimes you're not even babysitting your own staff. Sometimes you're babysitting the other trades on site. Sometimes you're babysitting the site supers or builders or contractors or just homeowners who want to manage their own project, who just watched HGTV too many times and got the wrong idea, right? So
it's kind of like showing up to jam and everyone's actually practiced the material.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
wow, we've got a shot.
We got this.
Man,
yeah.
You know, you're not having to. Yeah. So I could imagine seeing a business self-operate would be similar to that. And yeah, no, it's inspiring. It's heartwarming for sure when you get to experience that. And on your scale now as a business owner, it certainly is very rewarding. No doubt about it.
It's good. It's kind of like you get to see your staff kind of grow and how they exceed your expectations. And then where you can like assist them in growing in their opportunities as well too. So like our trade is so diverse, like especially use our fun word again, boilers.
Right.
But we're doing low voltage, high voltage electrical connections. We're doing control wiring. We're doing gas fitting. You have to do combustion analysis. Like there's so many different measurements and size and place and velocities and air disbursement. It's the fun part is designing these systems and then building it and putting it to fruition and just seeing that customer like super happy with the quality you put into it. They're like, we've had a few customers like, if I knew it was look this good, I would have just put it on the main floor in like a glass case.
Yeah.
So it works out kind of nice. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, seeing a lot of modern equipment compared to some of the old analog stuff, if you want to put it that way. There is certainly a very huge difference in appearance, and it certainly is more appealing.
The online community is huge as well too. Like there's a lot of guys out there that are learning what to and what to not to do just online. Like, oh, this guy's using diamond plate for the back wall, we got to do that. Or these guys are using LED lights, we got to do that too. So
yeah, a little goes a long way. You know, buy like an LED strip like this, stick around there. Yeah, that'd look
step it up,
sweet,
right?
For sure. Put a glass case on it, like you said. That'd be not a bad idea at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. Humble beginnings. You had some exposure in this industry, as among others. I mean, growing up and stuff, which is cool. Not everybody has that kind of experience. Nobody really has any idea of what direction they would go after early adolescence. But knowing that you had some exposure certainly helped to pave the way for you. Yeah,
my parents are really good about like teaching without telling and letting us make our own mistakes. I got 3 brothers as well too, so like letting us make our own mistakes, but still guiding us along the way and letting us experience life. So I definitely experienced a lot of it in a short period of time, but it was fun. So
were your parents rocking and rolling as well, or?
It's funny, like my parents got us into music because my parents were missionaries. Like I was born in the Philippines, so there's another little nugget for you.
Interesting.
I'm the whitest Filipino you've ever met.
Yeah, cool, man.
No, like my parents were missionaries, so like they always would play guitar, and my mom would play piano and sing in church, and we'd always do like the children's choir for Christmas, and you kind of got to lead by example. So if your kids aren't doing it, the other kids aren't going to do it.
Yeah,
so.
right.
But it was good because we got to learn about music in a fun way and just kind of go with it. So worked out really well. My older brothers, they sing, play guitar. My little brother plays the drums. So we could have had a family traveling band if we weren't brothers, and you know what brothers are like. So
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, no, I was lucky enough also to grow up around music. My dad was a drummer, so that obviously paved the way to I guess the path that I chose at a later date. Really thankful for that. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for rocking.
Yeah, it's golden.
Yeah, cool. So back to business anyways.
Yeah.
So obviously you can accommodate quite a few different aspects.
We don't really pigeonhole ourselves.
Right.
So like there's a lot of companies that they strictly just do service. They strictly just do new install. They're looking to sub for a larger company. We find in today's market with the shortage of workers, there's a lot of like one man in a van type businesses, which is great. That's how I started. That's how you do it. And like we're into building a community. So like we want to get to know those people and, make sure that they're not undercutting the industry, that they're actually doing proper work. So it's not really like a mentorship role. It's more of just like a get to know each other and have fun. Like the community that we have here in Calgary with the businesses that I chat with and associate with either online or through the phone. It's been really great because you get to know them. We get to talk about different products, different warranty issues we're having, and kind of like, oh, who do you talk to for this? And like, just help each other out. There's more than enough business to go around. So just kind of share the love a bit, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you need to have that kind of support system if you're going to try to make that the progress that you'd hope to make. It really takes more than it takes two to tango, in other words, right?
We're not into making enemies either, you know. If there's another company, we're never going to slag them regardless if we feel they do good work or not. We just look at the product and say, hey, we don't sell this product because of this issue, or we don't install this product because of these issues.
Right.
We use our product because of great warranty, great support, all that kind of stuff. So
right. Yeah. We've definitely discovered some less than admirable workmanship and material installs, but haven't gone as far as actually naming anybody on. I guess we've talked about it during the podcast, but to really throw people under the bus doesn't really look good on anybody.
No, it doesn't look good on you. And really, it's like, it is what it is. You know, someone decided they wanted to get a quote for a certain price and go for it. And if they felt confident in that, like I said before, like, we're not used car salesmen. We're here to give you that estimation and make you feel confident. So, you know, not every house needs that 911. Yeah. But some people want that option, right? Like, the worst thing that we've gone through, like when I was early quoting and learning, is I felt so nervous to just try and get the sale because, like, my mortgage, my kids, like, depended on this job. Like, if things were light, I need to sell this job. And you sell them a certain furnace or a certain hot water tank, and you go for the cheap one because you want to get the sale. Yeah. The best thing is just to give the options, because after, you know, there's a warranty issue or something happens, or 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road, something, they decide to upgrade or change. Like, why didn't you give me the option? Why didn't I know I could not put in a hot water tank? I could put in a tankless. Like, what are my options? What are my benefits for it? You know, and I'm above and beyond that. Like, hey, we've got 5 kids. We are swamped with hot water. We're always running out of hot water. It's like, well, let's put in a boiler system for you. You know, you're going to have 400 to 500 gallons of available hot water per hour. Like, if you run out of that, then we need to get you less kids.
Well, the more options you give them, I mean, that would also increase the chances of them coming back to you for those upgrades in the future, right? Yeah. If they were to pick a lesser model or a more inexpensive model.
We can stage those installs as well too, right? Like, do a good, better, best, and be like, well, if you really want to get to the best portion, let's put in that boiler with the storage tank right now, and we'll leave future takeoffs so you can change your furnaces to hydronic air handlers. Those type of things, right? So gives them the options.
Kind of where I started to glaze over.
That's your glazing over. I know. By the time this is done, I'm going to get you a hat, and you'll be selling for me. It'll be great. So you'll be on a roof. Like, have you thought about a boiler system?
Hey, why not? I mean, I am privy to some mechanical rooms. I mean, a lot of leak inspection. They'll bring me right to where they're noticing the leak, and a lot of the time they've got, I mean, the water exhaust plumb stack coming straight through the chimney, and the rain collar, the B vent, right, and the plumb. They're the rain collars, no sealant, and the water's running straight down that pipe right into their.
Well, water will always find a way. So sometimes it won't even get to the mechanical room. It'll just see a seam on the main floor, and you're like, well, I got to find this.
Yeah, well, then I'm crawling through attics, but some I have experience with, luckily. Some I'm used to at this point. So, another question. So, HVAC, plumbing, heating. Maybe how do I frame there? In other words, which installs do you prefer personally? Like, if you were to pick and choose, which would you?
Yes, the good thing about being the owner of the business is I do get to pick and choose now. Like, unless I'm taking the on-call for the guys or there's a problem, I got to help them out. Like, I can pick and choose the ones that I like to do. So I pre-build all of our boilers, well, at least 90% of them in our shop. That gives us like a really nice clean room to install in between a bunch of jobs. And then I always have 1 or 2 staff come with me for install days, and then they're kind of learning as we go. So get them up to snuff. So I really enjoy, like, the boiler side of things. Obviously, talk about a lot of boilers. Boilers.
Yeah.
So
Ding, 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 ding.
We already got the winner. So.
Yeah, right on.
So I like those ones because it's technical. It does take a couple of extra days. There's a lot that can go wrong with it, so you kind of have to know what you're doing. And that's kind of where the industry with efficiencies are going. So everyone's trying to get those next efficiencies and bring them up super high, and the best way is to that water heating medium. So
cool, right on. Yeah, well, nobody's going to complain about hot water, right? Yeah. So you're certainly a giver.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. People appreciate
the savior, you. The savior. Yeah, come in and save me.
Right. So you did bring some photos with you as well. Yeah. Actually, just to give us an idea of some of the things you're talking about, help to clear that fog that we all have in front of our eyes. Carly, could you pass my cell phone? It's all loaded up onto my phone right here, and I forgot it. Here we go. Bada bing,
quick
bada
question.
boom. Another question.
While you get that ready, do you have a boiler system, Josh?
I do. I'm a strong proponent of making sure that anything that we install, we either have it in our own homes or we've tested it out with family friends. So any new product that comes to the market. So I've got a dual boiler system with staple up hydronic heating on my entire main floor, which is all my whole main floor is heated in the floor as well. It's a nice big bungalow. Nice. And I've got 2 hydronic air handlers. So iFlow hydronic air handlers that pump forced air through the house. So I can still have AC cooling as well too. So yeah, there's this picture here is actually one of the iFlow air handlers. So this job, we took out a standard hot water tank and a standard furnace, and the square footage worked out really well for this one, where it's actually a tankless hot water heater on the wall, and the iFlow connects directly to it with the pump kit. And whenever there's a demand for heating, it'll turn on that pump, and it uses the hot water from your tankless to go across a coil rather than like a standard furnace that would be like a forced fire tube situation. So that tankless is a Navien tankless. It's 96% efficient, and that means that your furnace is now 96% efficient as well too. Both models are Wi-Fi capable and connectivity as well too, so everything's on your smartphone. So it's the wave of the future.
So with the tankless, I'm assuming what the water passes through the system and is heated instantaneously and continues on down the path rather than just nesting.
Yeah, so standard hot water tank is a holding vessel.
Yeah.
And you've got 40, 50, 60, 75 gallon tanks and bigger. And those will basically keep that pressure vessel heated to a certain degree of what you need it to. But the downside to it is they have a shorter lifespan. 8 to 12 years is basically the average for a hot water tank. And it reheats basically 10 to 12 times a day, even if you're not using it.
Right.
So the amount of like energy you're consuming, as well as the efficiencies on standard tanks. If anyone looks in their mechanical room tonight, if you have tin venting off your roof, you're looking at a maximum of a 60% efficiency for that one. So that means like 40% of the money you're spending to heat your hot water is going right through the chimney.
Right. Okay.
With a tankless, it's based on your flow. So if you turn on a tap that starts a flow switch, it heats up the water instantaneously in that tank. So obviously the water from that tankless to your faucet is going to cool down. So you get a 5 to 10 second burst of lukewarm water, and then you've got hot water forever. It's based on like gallon per minute. So this one specifically will give you 5.2 gallons a minute, which is 2 showers, dishes, laundry, and an extra sink all at once.
Yeah, and like how modern is this equipment? In other words, how or when did this equipment become more of a standard?
So in the last couple of years, it's become more of a standard.
Right.
Basically, as people want to get more efficient, they want to have a smaller mechanical room. Like you can see, if this wasn't just a retrofit, we could have put that tankless on the other wall and given a bit more room. They make stands where we can put them right in front, so where that open ducting is, we can put that tankless there as well too on a stand.
You could put all your extra guitar and bass cabs in the corner, right? All that extra space.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, no one ever has enough space in their house. So if we can give them a smaller mechanical footprint, they've got more room to put summer, winter, spring, fall stuff,
Yeah, music equipment.
Yeah,
that's my issue. The whole other half of this room is the studio area. And I mean, I try to keep it clean and tight in there, but I have a storage unit to try to create a less clustered area, and storage is definitely a problem. But cool bean.
So the cool thing with these iFlow units as well too is they've got sensors for your supply and return air. So typically, like on an older home like this one was put in, or a house like yours, they didn't do a lot of like computer calculations for your ductilation calculation. They do it all longhand. And a lot of times it's, this is the furnace we're putting in, this is the size of ducting we're using.
Like cookie cutter kind of place for like a neighborhood like this.
This is the house, this is the square footage, this is the size we use.
Right.
We're dealing with like a lot more like fine-tuned numbers and like really tight construction on homes as well too. So these ones will auto-calculate your static pressure, which is the differential between your supply and return air. And so if you've got like a colder spot or a place above a garage or a longer run that's a smaller diameter, the fan will auto-calculate that, and it'll actually help push that heating farther. So it's a great unit for a retrofit or smaller space on a new build. So
I see.
We try to push them as much as we can. I don't get paid for it, but they're just a great unit and they're super efficient. So
Yeah, no, I could certainly see myself upgrading if I don't buy a place with this pre-installed. But
yeah,
as you said, I guess it's more common nowadays. But I mean, to find a home, or how often would you find a house that has just like a
it just depends on the area. Like you can really
Yeah.
tell, like if it's got something like this, it shows that the customer wanted to put an incentive into their own house. They want to have that come back to them. When you're looking at buying or selling a house, your kitchen, your master bathroom, or your mechanical room are the 3 top sellers. So if you've upgraded those, you might not necessarily get a massive higher price for your house. You'll be able to offer for more, but it'll sell quicker because it shows you've taken care of it.
Yeah.
A lot of other things are lipstick, flooring, baseboard, paint. You can change that anytime.
Right.
So,
Makes sense.
yeah.
Right on. Well, I like what I'm seeing. Certainly something I'll have to write down when it comes to my first purchase. I'm renting here, but hoping for this time next year.
Yeah.
To,
well, let us know. We always
the
go
market,
and
so.
we'll do a complimentary walkthrough for a lot of people as well too. So
Cool.
We can assess those. That's what I got to do after this as well too. Go assess the system for a client, right? So.
Well, I'll keep that in mind. Cool. This is, I guess, finished product, eh?
Yeah, a nice custom shower we did for a client. So they're like, a lot of times clients will have like no idea of what they want.
Yeah.
This specific unit was like absolutely had to be this way, 100%, no aversions. Like typically I would like to see the body sprays, those 4 jets on the left on the other wall.
Right.
This one, they didn't have the door finished up on this one, so it wouldn't just spray outside into the bathroom. But sometimes clients are very specific of exactly what they want. They want the body spray chest level, belly button level, and then the knees or stuff like that. So, but anywhere from like a small service to a multi-million-dollar custom home, we do it all. So
right on, Lumberjack, man. Right
Lumberjack's got your back. So
this is also looking like a waterless or tankless.
Yep.
System,
so that's a tankless as well too. So just a nice little like really tight space. That's about 24 inches wide from the gas line to where the electrical panel is.
Is that smaller than the last one we saw, or is
that one's tighter? Tighter space than the
smaller.
last one.
Right.
So yeah. So that one was just strictly for heating water. So water in, water out. So. And Navians it's our tankless of choice. They got a great warranty. They're on like version 5 or 6 right now. So there's a lot of different product in the market, and we do utilize them, like the Renais, the Vestas. But we want something that's going to be longevity and hold up through. So
yeah, it's weird seeing this equipment and wondering why they didn't implement the use of it sooner. Yeah. I mean, when did they first start to really, or when was it first developed? Like, if you're sure.
Version 1s kind of came out about, I'd say about 12-ish, 13 years ago, maybe more than that. So, and version 1s were all terrible. Like they're all gone now. And if you still have one, you got one of the good ones. But they were all kind of set to like a California standpoint. No one really thought about like our groundwater temperature and what we have to overcome.
Right. Okay.
And that's where a lot of units, even on the market right now, will fall short. They've got a copper exchanger. There's units on the market right now. They're like, hey, we only have 2 moving parts. It's the best thing since sliced bread. Well, the problem is you're still using a copper exchanger. You know, you've got a couple other issues as well too.
I see.
So,
what's the average cost for a unit like this? Like just pre-install, just if you were to.
Typically for like a retrofit, you're looking at between $4,000 to $5,000 basically.
Okay, I see.
And that unit's going to last you anywhere from 15 to 20 years as long as you do service with it. So anything high efficient requires service. We let people know right off the bat, like you wouldn't do half an oil change on your car. Yeah. So you got to do service on these units. The manufacturer recommends once a year. If you put in some like salt-free softening or pre-filtering, because we have really hard water here, a lot of particulates, you can extend that service time, but you still have to do the service. It's required to keep your warranty, and you want to make sure that your investment is sound as well too. So
if you keep up with service on these units, do the manufacturers provide incentive for new upgrades in the future?
For those ones, like they already have it, like outstanding warranties. Like there's basically like a 10-year parts warranty on a lot of these anyways. So just the safety and limit devices they don't have warranties on. But most manufacturers anywhere between 5, 10, or 15-year warranties on a lot of their product now, which is great. So we provide like a 1-year labor warranty on all the projects that we do. We don't warranty customer supplied products, but anything that we do purchase, we make sure that everything's handled. If it's outside of our like 1-year warranty period, we'll still assist. Like you call us, there's a problem, we'll come out, check it out. We'll correlate with the reps and make sure that you get your product that you need, and there'd just be a small labor charge to adapt or fix something.
Yeah, cool.
So most of the time when we see these products fail, it's because they've either been installed incorrectly or never serviced. So they are reliable. There's a really big misconception when it comes to furnaces, tanklesses, and boilers. There's a lot of like service companies who are like, hey, keep this old furnace as long as you can. It'll never treat you wrong. It's like, well, 60% of the money that I'm spending heating my house is going out the roof. And, you know, when it does go, it goes. Like, as of this next year, there's no more mid-efficient appliances available anymore. They've already changed the rules on furnaces, but hot water tanks, boilers, residentially and commercially in Alberta will be going the way of the buffalo.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on. Well, I'm happy to have learned that, get to know or become familiar with some of this equipment because it is a blessing to get to learn so many things from so many people. And I have yet to go through the ringer with heating, HVAC, and plumbing. So
yeah,
right on. Good to know. And like as I said, Carly and I will be interested in buying hopefully very soon. And this is the kind of stuff that we got to get into.
Yeah.
What do you point at?
Questions.
Cool. Yeah. What do we got?
Lay it on me.
So the first one is, how long does a boiler system typically last for? How does it compare to other systems in terms of longevity?
So boiler systems are going to last you the longest. If they're installed and designed correctly, they're going to be a 30, 40, 50-year system. So it's kind of the best way. Here's one that we were building for a custom home out in Bears Paw. So this one's got your indirect storage tank, that big blue thing on the left. So that's all your hot water. The two pumps on the left are recirculating pumps. So they had primed hot water to every tap in the house at every point, no matter what. And then those zones would hit in different in-floor zones, deck around the pool area as well too. We had a second boiler in this house that was strictly just for heating the water in the pool and the hot tub. So customers really like to.
Hope I'm loaded one day and I'll just hook myself up with all that good stuff. Man,
it's good. Well, the thing is too, like I said before, like if you're looking to buy a place, typically Calgary has been like the 5-year, like, hey, we'll buy a place, we'll be here maybe 5 years and then we'll sell and upgrade. Once you get to that point where you want to be in that 20 to 30-year house, you know, the kids want to grow up there, you're in a great neighborhood. That's when you really want to invest in these types of products because it's going to last you that whole time that you're in that place. So spend that money once, enjoy it, utilize it. If you do end up selling, it's still viable and available for those customers, the next customer to use it as well too. So, but yeah, these are the boiler things that we typically like to do a lot as well too. You know, the diamond plate on the wall. This particular system this one was put in, I'd say 5 or 6 years ago for that one. So, and we still go back every year to do service on it. So customer's super happy. So he's never had like a down system. He's like, yeah, you just come in and do the service and you're good to go.
Do you guys charge for annual service like that?
Yeah, and it's all dependent on the size and scale of the system and what type of product it is. So typical things that would kind of go like a flame sensor, igniter, we kind of bring those with us and view and check and backfill. And even just like I keep up to date on our Instagram stories as well too when we're doing service. So.
Right, cool. I've got a question actually. I was under the impression that like just a water tank and a boiler were similar, or I mean, what's the difference between the systems?
People will always call like a hot water tank a boiler. That's usually called it. It is a vessel that creates water really quick. So boilers are typically designed to do a high mass long-term heating.
I see.
So you can do high mass and low mass temperatures with those ones. It's dependent on the BT load you need to heat everything, how much volume of water you need to heat up and where it needs to go. A boiler system is typically just that vessel on the wall. That would be strictly for like a hydronic heating purpose. So that's heating water, heating your in-floor, heating a fan coil or air handler for the heating, like air forced heating in your system. Where a hot water tank is literally just there to just fire up, heat up that hot water, and that's it. So
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for clarifying that.
There we go. Cool. Yeah. What else I'll still get a customer that, hey, my boiler's not working. You show up and it's a hot water tank. So, yeah. And like with these boiler systems, we do snow melt systems as well too. So this was a pretty mid-gradual driveway going down underneath the house for one of our builders, Lucas Developments there. So this was a couple years ago, and we did a full snow melt for the driveway. Actually, our guys were doing a boiler service and a duct clean at that house today. So the customer still raves about it. There's a slab sensor just past the picture here, And anytime any moisture or ice or snow build up on it, it automatically turns on that heating, and you never have to shovel your driveway again. Right at the curtain, at the edge of the garage door there, we've got a trough drain as well too. So any water from that snow that's melting goes into that and right into your sewer system. So,
hey, cool. Yeah, that's cool.
We always like these ones. You'd never have to shovel again. So save your back.
Yeah, no doubt.
Melt, so.
My back's shot from roofing already, so yeah, that would be a worthwhile investment. No doubt. All right, what do we got here?
Yeah, another boiler system as well too. So this one was another custom house that we did for a different builder. So NTI Boilers is our boiler of choice. So they're a great Canadian company. They're actually like the inventors of the high efficient wall mount condensing boiler. And they're great support. Like their local rep is in town here. We've got a distribution center and 3 other outlets that you can get that product from. It's always like our primary choice is to put those ones in. So this one's heating multiple in-floor zones as well as one staple-up zone, and then your hot water heating there. So that hot water tank that's there is called an indirect hot water tank. So it's heated by the boiler water, and that gives you about 450 gallons per hour of available hot water. So if you can go through that, then you must have a lot of showers.
I see, right.
Yeah.
So when you say in-floor heating, I was under the impression just for some reason that it was just like a coil system, but it's actually water running through.
Yeah. So it's either water or glycol or a mixture of both.
I see. Right.
Yeah, in the bottom there you can see a little stainless steel header that we like to put balancing headers in as much as we can.
Is that the green one? Or?
Right at the very bottom there's like a silver. Is the lines that are going into the floor there.
Oh, I see.
So right at the bottom there. So that's the basement in-floor zone for one header for half the basement of the house there.
I see.
And so we like to use balancing headers because then we get an equal distribution of flow through each loop.
I see.
And then that way it heats through the concrete. A staple-up heat would be like a traditional joist system you can staple under the floor, or like a gypcrete pour-over where you put the piping on top of the subfloor and pour over that. So it's the most efficient way to heat your house. It is not fast acting. That's why we typically have a lot of forced air systems. So we do a lot of the hydronic furnaces. But it gives you way more comfort because it's a radiant heat. It's going to heat everything around you. So you're sitting there no matter what. You go, socks or sockless, and you got toasty feet everywhere you go.
Yeah, great. I guess how much so would that reduce like your typical furnace charge or cost? Like if you had heated floors or systems like that, like how much does it really radiate? It
radiates. Like you can do it as primary heat. It depends how it's designed.
Right.
So if you design it as primary heat, like we just finished a custom house in Water Valley, and it's a slab on grade like pole barn style building. And so the entire like 4,000 square feet of the main floor is all in-floor heating. And then we did what's called a high velocity air handler off the boiler as well too. So it's like a furnace, but it pushes the air at a higher velocity. You can get smaller ducting, so no bulkheads. That one is primary heat for the in-floor heat across the entire house, and it's dead silent. You can't hear it at all. It's super quiet. And it heats the whole house.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, we've got the air handler there to still move that air with our Chinooks and stuff. So
yeah, cool. Wow, man, I didn't.
Yeah, and if you have in-floor heating, like a standard upgrade on a house in Calgary would be a larger home where they would have a boiler system feeding their hot water, and in the basement that heats the floor. So if you're running a standard furnace or a hydronic furnace, you're running that fan, it'll pull that hot air from the basement that's kind of sitting at the ceiling, and it mixes it through the rest of the house. So your furnace ends up lasting longer if you have that in-floor heating as well too.
Oh, cool.
It's overcoming some of that heat loss for you already. So
yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah. That's not something I really had any real understanding about, so that's cool.
And that goes to those options too. Like a lot of people don't know that this is an option not just for big giant custom houses, but any house really.
How easy is it to like, I guess retrofitting would be the right term if you were to install this in like a pre-existing home? Yeah,
like if someone already has either like a rough-in for in-floor heating or they want to get it, there are options to do it like on top of your concrete after.
Okay.
But it would be like a little bit more to do like a new install for that.
Right. So like with an unfinished basement like this, you just lay that on top of the pre-existing slab and then...
Yeah, there's a bunch of different products to use. You want to basically get rid of that cold front that's across the floor. You can use like an Amvic panel or a heat disbursement panel, and that basically just gives you that barrier.
Right.
And then you put your piping over top of it, and then do like a gypcrete pour over on top of that. So you can still get that heating. It's obviously more expensive to do it that way. Got to deal with some stair levels and door openings and stuff.
Yeah, if it was, because that would be done. You would typically do that before.
Yeah, you basically, like with like a panel and that, you're looking at about an inch to inch and a half that you would lose in ceiling height. But when you look at most basements now, they're 9-10 foot ceilings. Losing an inch and a half is not that bad.
Yeah.
If you already have the in-floor heating there, we can adapt to it if we're ripping out a boiler system or something that they had previously.
So what about like say an upper floor, like a main level like this? Would that be something you could also
if it was already done, it would be tougher. You'd want to do something like a gypcrete pour over. So we would basically put like a thermal barrier over the subfloor.
Right. Okay.
And then put the piping down, and then gypcrete pour over, and you can do laminate, vinyl. Right. You can glue down hardwood over top of it as well too.
That would be obviously much more expensive, having to pull everything up, all the pre-existing work and whatnot.
Yep. Yeah, but if you're in that system where you're doing a major reno on a house, or you're changing over to a system, it's there's lots of options. So
yeah, you'd want to try to get it all done at once at that point.
Yep. And that's where typically we'd take like a system like this. It was an old furnace, standard tank. You can see that circle on the floor where the tank used to sit.
Okay. Yep.
So we did a nice Rinnai tankless on that one with a Coleman furnace. It's 96% efficient for the furnace, 96% efficient for the tankless there. And that separates your system as well too. We were kind of over the square footage for that one furnace where we could get away with the air handlers that we had in place at the time, and customer just really liked having a separate system for that one. So
that's the tankless system on the wall.
Yeah, just a different brand
on the black
for those
diamond
ones.
plate.
Yep.
And then the furnace being on the center and left half of the image.
Yep.
I didn't realize Coleman. I thought they were just camping gear strictly.
I know, it's hilarious when people ask what type of furnace do you sell? Like, we're a Coleman dealer. So like Coleman is a JCI product, like Johnson Controls International. So York, Coleman, Guardian, Luxair, they're all the same, just a badge. Like Carrier and Bryant, Goodman and Amana.
I thought Coleman was just mini propane tanks and wiener sticks and stuff. I'm like, wow.
The Coleman name works good with the plaid and everything as well too. When you think camping, they got a lot of plaid stuff with their sleeping bags and stuff as well too. So.
Hey, cool. Well, right on.
Yeah. So there's lots of different ways like you can go through, and that's where kind of like we do those estimations. If someone has an option or something that they want to do, we can go through and give you a million different options for what they're looking for. So and with that, it's always no pressure as well too. Like, we don't need to beat you down on something. It's, hey, does this work with your time frame? Does this work with your budget? And just work with what your expectations were.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Like you said, you'd provide a multitude of estimates.
Yeah.
And in order to provide options for the clients, I guess, in terms of their budget and.
Yeah, and we offer financing as well too. So like, if you do want to go for that higher level of investment, and it's like, hey, we just booked a vacation. Like, finally, after 2.5 years, we finally booked a vacation, but we really need this too. It's like, we've got financing available.
Yeah, cool.
Non-predatory lenders that you can pay off any time as well too, which is a bonus for us. So
yeah, no doubt.
We've dealt with those. I think we've all, as we grow in business, we've all dealt with those payment plan, different companies. But when you find a good one, you just kind of stick with it. So
for sure, it's nice to associate yourself with a third party like that, one that's reputable, one that can provide that sort of service in a way that would help to create interest for your clientele as well, right? And open up other opportunities for people. So good on you. Yeah, right on. Well, I've learned quite a bit already. Carly, I'm sure you've learned a few things too about this, hey? I hope you were taking notes, because I was.
It will be on the test, so when we're done here, everyone's got a Scantron. We got to make sure you go.
As I said, hoping to purchase my first home someday here soon, and understanding what sort of options are available and what kind of upgrades could be done and all of that jazz. It's super important. So this is a good little eye-opener for me.
Big bonus is making sure you got a good home inspector.
Right.
So we do a lot of cross-promotional work with 2020 home inspections. So that's who I'm going to go help and assist at a job after. So if their guys are on site and it's a system that might be just a little bit out of their knowledge base on certain boilers and stuff, they're like, hey, you should get Josh.
Yeah, that'd be a tough job, man, because I have a lot of clients too who hire home inspectors and then they hire us, and we find a lot of things that the home inspector didn't, because the home inspector would just pop their head up into the attic, right? Peek around. They're not going in the attic, and a lot of them not going up onto the roof, right? And so I understand that with having hundreds of inspection points, it can be difficult to overlook some things, but finding the right company that is diligent and thorough in their inspections, I think would be a really hard thing.
When you find them, they're worth their weight in gold. Like, you got to find the good ones. You want to make sure you pay for it. You get what you pay for in home inspections.
Yeah, for sure.
And you just got to get the right vibe. But there's a lot of really good home inspectors in Calgary, and there's a lot of really bad ones. It's like a 6 to 8 week course. You don't ever have to have picked up a hammer before. You got to write some notes and see it. And if you're not immersed in that industry, or at least have the contacts where you can refer back and forth, that's where you can do a disservice to a lot of clients. But there are some really good ones out there as well too. So, and nobody's perfect.
Yeah,
of
course.
Miss stuff. Yeah. You can miss stuff. It's just
I'm not bashing home inspectors. Like, not even to clients too that tell me. It's just I kind of try to cut them slack to the clients too. Like, they have so many inspection points too, and it's not always a large amount of things that they missed, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes there are some obvious things, but a lot of the times,
being an expert in your field as well too, like, you can pick out a lot of things or look for certain areas that would cause more problems, where typically a home inspection is more of like a surface value inspection. They're not really diving into things crazy deep, where you and I would be, hey, I see these service calls all the time, so I know exactly what to look for and how long this product will last.
Yeah, precisely.
What to look for.
Happy to say that I am capable of inspecting my own roof.
There you go.
And that's certainly something I would take care of, right?
Yeah, we got a few guys that do not want to go on roofs, so it's always good when you get up there and do it. So
yeah, no doubt. Cool. Well, business is booming as far as I've heard from you. Business is booming for us as well. Things have been really busy, and obviously it's a blessing.
It's great. It comes with its own struggles.
Yeah, it's a curse
great.
too.
Yeah.
You know, there's a silver lining, no doubt about it. So, other than all of that, let's get to know you on a personal level. So, we've obviously covered some of the music stuff, which I was really stoked to find out.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be appropriate to assume someone covered in tattoos might, have been in a band at some point or another.
It's either prison or music.
I'm happy or he's a roofer,
or both. Yeah,
or he's a roofer. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, you're thinking I have to wear the overalls, butt crack, all that, and like a lot of the time roofers get the whole ex-convict or just a little less, a little sketchy kind of.
A roof in the summer and I'm in Cabo in the winter.
Yeah, so, But so we touched base on the music. That's cool. You're rocking, you're headbanging. Outside of music, what else gets you going?
I ride motorcycles.
There we go.
Got a Harley Davidson. Love that thing to bits. So I do a lot of dirt biking with my kids as well too, like up in the mountains. We've got a little acreage outside of town, so we got a little dirt bike track there as well. So
right on.
I got 3 boys, 11, 7, and 5, so they keep me crazy busy.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
my wife kind
takes
of pretty
care
close
of all
in
of us, age too.
Yeah, it's good. So and they're just hilarious. Like, it's so funny to see the world through their eyes. Like I said before, it's so funny to see them grow. So
to rekindle your own spirit. Through theirs for sure.
They come and help out. Like my 11-year-old, I'm teaching him how to solder, so he came and helped me build a couple boilers in the shop, and they'll swing by. I've got the office up at our property as well too, so they'll come by the office when they get home from school sometimes, and just kind of immerse them in it. So sometimes I just call them future employees. And it's good, so,
well, I mean, with a dad with an established business, I mean, you certainly have to consider your future and the future within the business for sure.
It's tough to find employees these days, so I've got the payment plan there. There's 3 of them that at least might roll into it. So
no doubt. I mean,
but I like camping. Nature's good, getting out of town, somewhere where I can shut my phone off, and we've always got someone on call, but it doesn't always have to be me, which is good as well too.
Yeah, so. Exactly. That's where why you need to be sure to expand at an acceptable rate only, so that you can have people there to take care of those things when you're out and about.
Yeah, we always got somebody there. You just got to make sure they can handle what's in front of them as well too. So, and sometimes it's just I haven't experienced this or I haven't experienced this. You got to be tossed into the fire from time to time. On a job with them or not. Like, usually I find when you make a mistake and fix it, that's usually when you learn the most. So
of course. Yeah, you realize I don't want to have to redo something again, or you pay attention to something in that respect next time around a little more closely than you did the time before, for sure.
Exactly.
And there's a few different ways to learn, but obviously learning from your mistakes is certainly one of the most memorable ways, no doubt about that.
Sometimes they sting and sometimes they burn. So
cool. So what kind of dirt bike you ride? What kind of dirt bikes are you into?
It's funny. I had a Beta, so it's like an enduro style bike. So, but the market's so good right now with reselling that I sold it. So we've got a bunch. So my wife's got Hondas. I've got another Honda cross country as well too. So my kids have ridden Husqvarnas and Kawasaki's, and so 2 strokes, 4 strokes, auto shift, clutched. It's whatever it is. If it's got 2 wheels, I'm gonna ride it. I'm gonna have fun with it.
Yeah, so. Sweet. They're lucky to have the opportunity to ride so many different bikes. Like I've been on quite a few growing up. I never had one of my own. Luckily, all my friends had bikes, and I got my experience through them.
Yeah.
But to have the opportunity to go riding was, I guess, irreplaceable.
Yeah, like after this, I'm going to go inspect a boiler system, and then I'm going to get on my Harley, and I'm going to Invermere for a rally this weekend. So
right on. You ride your Harley here?
That's some fun. No, I driven my truck here because I got to go do a boiler inspection first.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I guess that makes sense.
Go home, grab the bike, head out to the rally, and have some fun, and then head back to work on Monday again. So
I hope to buy a dirt bike someday.
Yeah.
Someday I've got a 50cc in the garage right now that I purchased for my buddy. He asked me to pick it up for him.
Yeah.
It's a Yamaha. But one thing I always was trying to tell Carly, trying to get her familiar with bikes, I'd just associate colors with manufacturers, obviously, like Husqvarna. I guess I see less of them, but KTM orange, right? Mm-hmm. Suzuki's yellow and Yamaha's blue. Honda's red.
Green.
Kawasaki's green. Yeah, that's right. And that's kind of getting her into that, but I hope to throw on a dirt bike someday. You've been riding. You say you've been riding a bunch back in the day, but not with me. Yeah,
Hop on that 50 that's in the garage and learn. That's probably like a little blue PW50 probably.
It is,
A little 2-stroke.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It's a little chainsaw motor. You can just go for days on it.
Yeah, it's fun. It'll be sad to see it go when the buddy comes by to pick it up, but I've ripped it around the complex here a few times. So
lately, like with my kids being so little, I just jump on a little 110 auto shift, and that way I can stop the bike in a hurry and pick them back up, pat them on the butt, and get them to keep going. So fall down, you gotta get back up. So,
yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's good. So that, like camping, anywhere we can go off grid, it's always good. Like my primary work van is a giant Sprinter van, and it's actually like filled in the back with Milwaukee pack out crates and the wall plates. And so I bought some 3D printed little connectors to it, and I built a bed platform that's detachable. So I just take out my bins on a Friday, pop in the bed platform, and I can take my kids camping up in the mountains and have some fun. So work and play, double duty it. So.
Yeah, I luckily have that same luxury. Well, I'm not going to say the same luxury, but that old Ranger out front.
Yeah.
I definitely throw whatever I can in that truck and take it camping with me too.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I like to go. I mean, I'm down in McLean Creek as often as I can be, and they have some major pothole issues on those roads, and
it's just a couple.
We have like a Kia Rio, which can't really handle that, but the truck can, luckily. So.
Yeah, that was always good. So
yeah, cool.
Pop her into 4x4 and give her, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I wish it's not 4x4, that one actually.
Oh, there
2x4.
you go.
I got stuck. Carly and I got stuck midwinter once.
You just got to load as much stuff in the back as possible then. Put the cooler at the back.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Oh, cool. Well, right on, man. You seem to have your head on your shoulders, which is good. You enjoy a lot of the same things that I enjoy as well, being outdoors, hiking, camping, all that good stuff, biking.
Yeah.
But
life is what we make it, right? You got to have fun, otherwise it's going to drag you down real quick.
Yeah, exactly, man. Work, you need to create an equal balance between work and home, like you said before the podcast, I believe. And it's a delicate balance, and it can be difficult to really hone in on that and find the right balance, but it's a work in progress, obviously. And
it's all what you make it, man. You just got to ride the wave and deal with the stresses when they come up, but enjoy the fruits of your labor when you can as well too, right?
Yeah, for sure. Might be a little different with plumbing, but with roofing, with just obviously heavy rainfall for a week straight and winter, I mean, there's just ups and downs all the time in my scheduling too, so it's kind of harder to create that equilibrium, I guess. But
feast and famine, like right now too, like with all this extra rain we've been having, and like framer shortages, we're pushed back on new builds and renos like crazy right now, and they're all going to land at the same time, and it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks of nuts, and then back to business as usual. Things are staggered like they should be, but it's always chaos. You just got to roll with it. So. Well,
I'm also really just grateful for the company that I am with, because as I had mentioned, was touring as well back in the day, and for Mike to allow me to take the time needed to go and do that, it's something you can't something I'm extremely grateful for, obviously. So to be associated with a company like this, I mean, the schedule gets crazy at times, but the schedule is manageable, and also I can take time to do what I love doing too. So
you got to enjoy it. Like Alberta's such a hustle and bustle type situation where I think more with this whole getting out of the pandemic type thing, people have really kind of enjoyed living life a little bit, and like they've got this taste of, oh, this is the time I need to do what I want to do, not just what I have to do. So they got to find that balance within themselves. So.
Yeah, see, I was working straight through the whole thing. Luckily for roofers, I mean, being outside up on the roof, we were able to keep on trucking.
Well, for us, like everyone was home. So typically for a service call, if there's, husband and wife or partners are both working, you got to go there after hours or they have to take a day off work. With everyone working from home, it's just, hey, we can get in anytime. So like we were busier through the pandemic than we were slowing down.
Obviously, masks and all that stuff, you didn't have a lot of people that were apprehensive towards having you over? Or?
No, there's always, we always give people the option so we can.
Of course, yeah.
We're part of a federal pilot program through the Airdrie Chamber of Commerce. And we would test our staff 3 times a week just to make sure we split our staff into 2 groups so we weren't basically on top of each other. Just if someone did end up getting COVID or had to be out of work for a sickness or something, then it would just affect that one person who they were working with. Test again, can get back to work.
Cool.
It was a lot of confidence in people as well too. So
well, as I said a minute ago, you seem to have your head on your shoulders, and that is that advocates for that right there. Just explaining that you took things to that level.
Everyone's going through something, whether it was the pandemic or not. Like, we try and lead with compassion and grace at all times, and just, hey, you feel strongly about something, we'll let you take the reins on this, and we'll just adapt our way to how you feel, and we leave our personal feelings and politics out of it. It's just, hey, business as usual.
Yeah, for sure.
Change a furnace, change a boiler, change a hot water tank. We're good to go.
And like you said, customer service comes first and foremost. And I think because of what you're saying earlier, we have rock and roll to thank for that, right? Thank you, rock and roll. Thank you, heavy metal gods, for the customer service skills. Cool. Yeah. Well, right on, man. It's been really good talking with you.
It's been nice to get to know you guys too.
Certainly a very informative presentation, we'll call it. Whatever it was. It was good talking to you.
Yeah, like I said, next time I come back, we're going to get some hammocks in here, and we'll do a podcast on hammocks. It'll be good.
Yeah, hammock podcast. Like I was telling Josh before we went live too, how we always want to try to work in the other interesting content, conspiracy and all that, and talk about hammocks even, who knows, but it's difficult to do, and it's all business oriented all the time. But
we'll call it the Napcast.
The Napcast, why not?
The next one.
Well, we certainly do have returning guests, so whenever you feel like you're up to another conversation, feel free to reach out, because model tankless water heater model number 9 might be out by then. You might have a bunch of stuff to tell us about.
We just scratched the surface with everything. There'll be way more glaze the next time.
So, also kind of just want
to.
Cool. Well, right on, Carly. You also kicked ass behind the desk. Yeah, good job. Good on the switching. Right on, Carly. Good job with the photos, Daniel. Right on, buddy. Cool. And as for all of our viewers, hey, thanks for tuning in, and another extra congratulations to Elaine Coates, I believe, is our winner. She guessed the mystery word this time around. It was boilers. Yeah. We tried to keep it less than simple, but she's a smart cookie.
We look forward to taking care of that service call at your community hall.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be in touch, vice versa. And Elaine, as you may already know, since you are a returning podcast viewer, we will be doing a mystery word prize draw this coming Monday at 3 p.m. I'm just right around 3. I'm going to have to arrange my schedule a little bit, because we didn't do the prize draw this week, only because I was out of town. But this coming Monday, we're actually going to have a joint prize draw with last week's winner, so that both of you will have an equal chance at the $500 draw, of course. But we're going to kind of smash the two of you guys together. Obviously, if you don't win the cash, you'll have an opportunity at choosing through all of these other awesome prizes that we have. So we'll be in touch with you, Elaine, and I hope you're a winner, right? So we'll contact you before then, and we'll work that all out, and you'll be ready to go live Monday, 3 p.m. So again, thanks for watching, and thanks for coming, buddy.
Okay,
and for the rest of you, if you know anybody with a local business in town and you're interested in having them on the podcast, just tell them to contact us. We're always looking for guests, and it's always a fun time. So in the meantime, take care, be good to one another, and have a great Thursday. Later.